Ladies and gentlemen, as the days of the draft continue to wind down and we're getting ever so closer, there are more rumors for the Chicago Bulls. Now, a lot of them are more of the same. However, there is another player that's been added into this in a big way, and his name is Anthony Edwards, who could end up going to the Chicago Bulls if the cards are played right. I'm going to give my opinion on this matter right now. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aiden Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls video in relation to Anthony Edwards and his potential to join the Chicago Bulls, and if the Chicago Bulls are really interested in this player. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aiden Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below if we did end up trading up to get that second or first pick. Do you think the Chicago Bulls will draft Anthony Edwards? Now, in my opinion, it's a very outside option, but it's definitely a player that I think is very well respected among Chicago Bulls, the fans of the NBA, and of course teams in the NBA, and of course us being one of them. Now, this interest, in my opinion, is a little bit weird, a little bit confusing, but I have no questions in my mind that Anthony Edwards is a great player that will do very well for the Chicago Bulls. Of course, when you're estimated to be the first pick for as long as he has, there has to be some sort of thing inside you. Has to be something inside you that makes you believe that you are a top player. That fans makes him believe he's a top player. And of course, we believe he's a top player. So the Chicago Bulls, in my opinion, have every right and every validation to be interested in this player. He's a shooting guard. He's a fantastic scoring player. He scores with ease, it looks like. If you watch some of his games, it looks very easy for him to score the ball. And I think he could be a predecessor to a player like Zach LaVine, could be a predecessor to a player that maybe we might not have for a long period of time. But again, this is a bit confusing for me, and this is why I wanted to make this video. And maybe if you guys do agree with me, you'll help me understand why. But also, if you don't agree with me, I would also like to know why, because this is just my opinion on this matter. But Anthony Edwards, for my opinion, would be a very weird selection. But Artorias has always stated that he will go for the best available. He's not really one to draft for a need or draft for a position, but more to draft what is available at his spot. The best option is what he's going to go with, and I think it's a good way to go. Obviously, with the Chicago Bulls, I think drafting wise, so far in the past few years, we've done all right with the drafting. Larry Markkinen seems to be a good player. Wendell Carter seems to be a good player. Kobe White seems to be a fantastic player, and we've done okay. But Artorias it's a new management, so we might have to be drafting a little bit differently these days. But again, with Anthony Edwards, as much as it is going for the best position available, going for the best player available, there's also an element of confusion and potential risk that could be coming towards this player. So I'm going to give you my reasons why I believe this is a potentially risky draft, but ultimately it could end up still working out, as again, good players will always find a way to succeed no matter what position they're in. So first thing first, Anthony Edwards is a shooting guard. He's a scoring guard. Very similar to some of the players that we do have already on this team. So we're drafting pretty much a very similar player to a Kobe White, a Zach LaVine, that we already seem to have in abundance. And that is the first thing I wanted to get out of the way. We do have Zach LaVine still on this team, and I still believe he will be a Bull this season, and maybe moving on to next season, we could say he'll be a Bull again. I believe he's not getting traded. I don't believe he's going anywhere. We also have Kobe White, who's also seen as a scoring guard. But first, to go for Zach LaVine. If we sign Anthony Edwards, that could potentially mean that we have to trade away Zach LaVine sooner or later, because eventually Anthony Edwards would have to take that position unless he's proven not to be good enough. Then we stick with Zach LaVine. So there is an element of risk there for Anthony Edwards that he has to live up to Zach LaVine's shoes. And Zach LaVine has been a fantastic player and an all-star potential player for the past few years now. Again, he hasn't been an all-star, but he's been in that potential. So getting Anthony Edwards onto this team means that sooner or later you might need to get rid of Zach LaVine to push Anthony Edwards to that position, or you might just have to get rid of Anthony Edwards very early on in his career and stick with Zach LaVine because he turns out to be that better player. So that's the big risk, and it's a bit of a confusion of why we would want to put ourselves in that situation. That's the first thing. The second thing is the Chicago Bulls have said at least a few weeks ago now, people are saying the Chicago Bulls see Kobe White as a scoring guard or a shooting guard. So scoring guard basically is not a shooting guard, by the way. Scoring guard means that you just score from the guard positions. But the shooting guard is obviously the shooting guard position. That's where they most likely see him. So in the end, we're going to be drafting Anthony Edwards, and we have two players that are seen as shooting guards, which is Anthony Edwards' position. So unless we ultimately just flip the switch and say Kobe White is our point guard, Kobe White is seen as a point guard and he will be our point guard for the future, we don't have any plans to move him to the shooting guard, then this ultimately is a more confusing situation where we have three shooting guards that all probably should be starting. So that is a big situation. And again, we will find our playmaking. Just because if we don't get LaMelo Ball in the draft, free agency is the place where we can get our playmaking. The playmaking, in my opinion, is something that can be expanded on, not just in the NBA draft, but prior. But getting three shooting guards is a bit weird, don't you think? I mean, Kobe White is seen as the shooting guard. Zach LaVine is a shooting guard, and he could move to small forward. We could play a three-guard system, but none of those three guards are actually playing as a point guard or a playmaker. So I don't see a three-system working here, a three-guard system. And I don't see a three-guard system where one's off the bench working as well, because we still need that point guard. But anyway, that's just the risks. Let's talk about the positives. Fantastic scorer, high draft pick. He was one of the highest touted players in the draft. He's been projected to go number one for quite some time, and in my opinion, I still think he will go number one. I believe he's come out and said, Anthony Edwards, that he'd like to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, one training session where he has disappointed is not the end of his first overall pick, I guess, dream, or going first, being that best player to go. I don't think it's the end of that. But again, that is what people are saying now. I believe this is a little bit of a situation where if Anthony Edwards is not taken and LaMelo Ball is taken, we go for Anthony Edwards. But ultimately, I still believe our main target, if we are going to draft up or trade up, is going to be LaMelo Ball. I think that is the player that we go with, because I think it makes a lot more sense to go for LaMelo Ball than you do for Anthony Edwards. But again, I think that's the situation is if we are willing to let go of a top player to go into the second or first pick, especially the second pick, we're going to go for either Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball. I actually see that being the case. But I can't see us picking Anthony Edwards over LaMelo Ball. I see LaMelo Ball being the main target. And if he is taken first, if Minnesota do draft LaMelo Ball first, then we go for Anthony Edwards, because obviously he will be the best available. And I do think that maybe we can try and find a way to make this work. But it does seem a bit confusing when people say we are going for LaMelo or Anthony Edwards, because I believe LaMelo is the main target, and I think Anthony Edwards would be the second target. That might not be where LaMelo Ball is, but just slightly underneath him. But that's just my opinion on the matter. It's a very quick video, but I did want to make it because there is a bit of confusion of how Anthony Edwards would work with this Chicago Bulls team, considering we have players that we probably see as shooting guards in the same position as him. It's a bit confusing for the Chicago Bulls. I don't believe that's the direction that we want to go in. But again, Arturis, best available. He's done it before and he'll keep on doing it, and it might be the right choice down the line in the future. So let me know what you guys think about this news in the comments below, and my opinion on getting Anthony Edwards for the Chicago Bulls. The question that is going to be answered right now: is the Chicago Bulls interested in Anthony Edwards? That is the biggest yes I've ever seen in my life. Of course they're interested. How could you not be interested in a potential first overall pick that could potentially fall down to second or maybe even third or fourth? You have to be interested in a player like that. It's the same thing as being interested in Wiseman. You have to be interested in Wiseman because he's a top player and he can definitely make an impact on any team that he's been drafted to. We have to be interested in a player like that. We can't scout selective players. We've been interviewing players that are projected to go well below the fourth pick. You need to be interested in these players as well, because they could potentially be that sleeper pick that if you do keep the fourth pick, you pick them. and they could end up working out. We need to be interested in a whole bunch of players. So Anthony Edwards being interested with the Chicago Bulls, no question they're interested. But let's see if that's the direction that we go in, and let's see if they can make it work if we do get Anthony Edwards in the draft. But again, I really think LaMelo Ball is going to be the key that I think the Chicago Bulls will try to get. And if not, let's see what happens afterwards. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the Aiden Sports Show YouTube channel. Again, another draft video. You have to expect these more often, considering that the draft is only a few days away now. So I wanted to make this video to kind of stress out the recent rumors that have been coming out. The rumors have been very, very, very similar. We want to trade up. We want to trade up. We want to get LaMelo. Let's see if the Chicago Bulls are going to do it, or if they're going to take their chances with the 4th pick, which I still think is what we should be doing. But again, the Chicago Bulls should know more than me, and I will respect any decision that they make. Have a wonderful and safe day. Take care, and peace.